31st of May 2022. Hope everybody out there is having a good day today. Let me start off by saying if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. And of course, we're going to get into the video now. Some of y'all heard our president say that the Second Amendment is not absolute. Guys, I hope you can see what they're doing. They're slowly chipping away at your rights. I mean, it's simple as that. If that's not absolute, what else is not absolute that they're looking at that's, come from our founders of the country? Guys, things I've told you, they're starting to speed us up here. Everything's speeding up, Everybody thought we'd wake up one morning and everything would just be flip-flop and the world was come to an end. You got to start living out in the woods or something. But what they're doing is they're stair-stepping us into this. You have to excuse me, I got a little bit of cold today. But what I'm trying to say is, plain and simple, now our own president is telling us that the Constitution, Bill of Rights, you can change it whenever you want to. It doesn't mean anything. Guys, this is going to get worse and worse the further we go into it. I mean, we've heard all the news about what's going on. We're supposedly sending long-range missiles over there to Eastern Europe. Now we're not sending them. I've told you we're going to get dragged into that eventually. But what they want to do right now is just keep passing gun laws. And we got all this other stuff going on. We got shortages. We've got fuel prices shooting up higher than ever. And they're going to continue to go up. It's funny that oil, is pretty reasonably priced per barrel where it was when it was a lot cheaper on gas, but yet we're still paying high dollars on gas. It's just something that comes to my mind. It's upsetting me how high gas keeps going. But talk to you, we're going to stay on subject here, I guess. If that is not an absolute, set in stone thing, and here's how they can say that. When it was wrote, it was the 1700s, things like wasn't the same as they are now. Okay. You move forward through time, you come into the 1930s, they start passing gun laws. And the reason for it was that was the age of the gangsters, in the big cities out here with full auto machine guns and everything else just terrorizing people, right? So they passed the full auto ban, and then that's when felons weren't allowed to own or possess a firearm. And then states took it upon themselves to add a few here and there through time. One of them you may not know is like if you're in public housing or something, you're not technically supposed to have a firearm. Own or possess a firearm if you're in public housing because you're poor. See, it makes no sense. If they can take all your rights away from you, then they completely control you. It's that simple. This is a game of control. Our elected officials, they'll tell you whatever you want to hear to get them elected. Now, once they get in there, they're all in this together. Trump, immediately, he said, we need to pass something where you don't even have to go. We take your guns first and then figure it out. A lot of Trump supporters might have forgot that he was for red flag laws. Now, my theory on the Second Amendment, everyone should be able to carry. Any law wrote against the Second Amendment goes against the Second Amendment. That started in the 30s, and it progressed, and then you had the Gun Control Act in the 60s, and then the 90s, and assault weapon bans, all this, Guys, if they take your guns away from you, you are defenseless as to what they can do to you or to your neighbor or anyone else. And what I mean by that is, if you want to control the people and you're the government, you control the food, you restrict access to firearms, because if you're controlling the food, somebody out here doesn't have it. You see, that's why they want to restrict this stuff. Guys, I seen the other day that Gerber baby food is now putting out fake stuff to feed the babies. It says to start them off right or something like that. They're trying to trend us into this fake meat stuff. Control the food, control the people. Well, that's what's happening. We're having all these shortages on food. You know, prices are going up. And now I'm telling you, they're going to get something passed on these gun laws. They're going to get it. They've got the push this time. They've got it. Let's look back at the last election. Somehow they always get the push when they need it, right? Guys, if you haven't prepped up at all, you need to start prepping. You need to have ways to protect your prep, because I never in my life seen a presidency try to destroy America as much as this guy is. Now, I'm only 45. They may have been another president that people felt the same way about, you know. Hooverville comes in mind, President Hoover. But this man here, he's just going after everything he can get. You know, he's going to do gun laws. You realize if they take the Second Amendment and make it where it's not in effect no more, there's a lot more on there like search and seizure, things like that, and you know, military can't just come in and take your house over or something like that. Well, now y'all see what's happening, guys. Our America is falling. It is falling. We all thought it was going to be this straight down here. It's not. They're chipping away at us. It's going to take some time, and eventually, if they keep doing all this, what's going to happen? Y'all know. You're going to have states that jump off and say, well, guess what? We're not going to support that law you just passed banning this or doing this. Well, then people think, all right, that's going to start a civil war. You know, the states are going to revolt and do their own thing. No, they won't. They'll talk a big game. But when it comes down to the federal government saying we're not going to send you any money if you don't do this, this, or this, they're going to get on their knees. They're going to do what they're told. Guys, this is not the 1800s. I've said it before, it's not the 1930s or 40s. States cannot survive on their own now. They can't. They've got to have that federal money. And if you let them continuously take your rights away, you know, saying this isn't absolute, you know, there's a lot of them that they can take away. And then what are you left with? You're sitting there waiting on the government to take care of you. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. I know I kind of bounced all over the place today, but there's a lot of stuff on my mind. I didn't make a video yesterday because I was researching some stuff and just having fun with the family. But guys, get out there, stay safe, keep your head on a swivel. You're not protected anywhere in America anymore. It's up to you to protect yourself. Guys, subscribe to the channel and stay safe and get prepped.